this is Editor Podcast. I am Ruth Gahemba Solomon, your host. And on today's episode, we have an interesting topic, adjusting to life in a new country. And with me in the house, I have Mrs. Ogale Onye Goro. Did I get that correctly? Okay. Regional Director for Africa, University Canada West.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So why should I choose Canada?
So, Canada is a top study destination and is number one for a lot of students, including students from this region, because Canada has been ranked by a lot of bodies as number two best country to live in the world. And they're very welcoming. They welcome international students. They have a history of welcoming international students. And the universities have multicultural environment. So international students feel very comfortable studying in Canadian universities. And any news of increase actually at some point will be a shock in the market. A lot of students who look at it and said, oh, this is too much, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But thereafter, they understand that there must be an increase so that their sponsors will also make available the right funds for their study.
Okay. So for someone who is new to Canada, what are the measures your school is taking to help them in the shock of a new environment?
Okay, so before I'll talk about what my school, University Canada West, does to support international students, I would want to talk about what it is like for a lot of international students.
Okay.
So moving to a new country is very exciting, but yet challenging.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of students are so excited. I just got my visa and I need to travel. And they're like, when you see them at the airport, they take a selfie.
Yeah.
Then when they enter Canada, they're like, Canada, here I am, and all of that, taking pictures in very strategic places. It's so exciting to get to moving to a new country.
Yeah.
But the challenge comes when they resumes, like get to the accommodation, they're about to go to school, and then that's when the reality is done on them. Yeah. So you have a lot of phases for students who move to new countries. There is this honeymoon phase where everything feels new and exciting, and that stage can last for a few days to several weeks, and then you move to the culture shock. And they begin to feel overwhelmed, frustration, confusion, and then homesick. Like they feel like going home. Oh, for the lovers of Amala, they can no longer see Amala available in Canada. And they're like, oh, so I miss this. They begin to miss a lot of things.
So I can actually make money if I go there and start selling Amala.
You can. You can make a lot of money from Nigerian cuisines or African, actually. So there they overwhelm, and then again, this stage is actually very critical.
Yeah.
It just depends on how the student manages it, and also how the university supports the student to pass through this stage. Then you have the recovery stage, and after a while, they develop this coping mechanism. Yeah. So they learn gradually how to adjust to these new changes, the new way of life. And they begin to, get how to cope with all of what is happening. Then the last stage is adaptation. They've adapted. They understand that, okay, this is my new reality. I need to do this, what I'm supposed to do. And for the undergraduate students, I'm no longer in secondary school. That's wake me up to go to school. I need to do that myself. I need to read. I need to get to the train on time for those staying off campus. So a lot, they're now used to it, and then they feel very comfortable, and then they integrate a part of the culture, the new culture, into their personal life. Yeah, then you're fine. So now coming to what University Canada West does to assist students to recover, to adapt to the new environment. We have the orientation program, which is a must for every student to attend. So during the orientation program, we have the campus tour. So University Canada West is located in downtown Vancouver, in British Columbia in Canada. So we have two campuses, West Penda campus and the Vancouver House campus. And so there's a campus tour of the beautiful campus. And during the tour, students talk among themselves. They try to form a bond among themselves. There is also information section. The information section entails what students are supposed to do about their studies, how to calculate their CGPA, how to move around campus, where to get what, where the malls are, where the movies are, how to enjoy themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of that. They also have social clubs. So students are encouraged to also be part of, one of those social clubs there where they meet like minds. There are people who, have same thing. And we also have cultural events, that goes on campus, and we also celebrate some key national, what they call it, international events too, and they like the Black History Month and all of that, and the new Lunar Month too, Lunar Year celebration, and so all of that helps students to cope. And then in such events, they will definitely see people who have same interests, with them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I hear your university gives 20% off to your offset to your new students. How true is this?
Yeah, so of recent, the university actually understand the cost of living and also the exchange rate issue we're having in this part of the world. And then they come up with, okay, do you know what? We're going to have automatic scholarship for African students.
Okay.
And so once they apply, you don't need any separate application for that. Once you apply and you're able to get an offer, the offer comes with 20% scholarship. Yeah.
Oh, okay. For personal curiosity, why Canada? What exactly is that special thing about Canada?
Yeah, so Canada offer a high quality education. The education Canada offers is second to none. And again, like I said earlier, the long history of welcoming international students from different countries of the world. For example, University of Canada West has 40,000 plus students on campus, and these students are from 110 plus country. And so if I'm going to study, like studying in Canada is an experience you can't buy. It's something you just have to go through, because in your class, it's like if you're having the whole world in your classroom. So apart from the international, the high standard of education the standard of education that is being offered, we also have that multicultural environment that you're going to be part of. And aside that, Canadian University, including UCW, are particular about life after graduation, what it's going to look like. And so you have a lot of programs on campus, a lot of things support. So
So that means after I graduate or a student graduates, you guys offer them jobs, opportunities?
Okay, so the primary responsibility of a university is to offer a very high standard of education. Okay. Yeah, so in addition to that, we now have a career development center. So we don't offer student jobs, we don't promise that. But we have a career development center. Yeah, a lot of funds actually been invested on this center where students are, prep, they help students to put the right foot forward in the search of jobs. A lot of people are looking for jobs. There are jobs available in Canada, but then again, employers are looking for the very best for those jobs. So what this center does is to give students tips on how to, guidelines on how to prepare their CVs, how to set up a professional profile on the platform like LinkedIn. Yeah, and also we have this alumni engagement where those students, graduates who are doing very well, come talk to students on what they do or what they did when they were in school. Yeah, so, and then also tips on how to prepare for job fairs. Job fairs are very common in Canada. So the center helps students with information, guidelines on how to prepare for these job fairs, and also how to, what to do after the job fairs. How do you follow up these prospective employers after job fairs? And also look for jobs in hidden markets and also open markets. Yeah, so basically what the center does is, helping students to put their right foot forward in the search of jobs. Yeah.
So in other words, there's abundance of opportunities for personal and then professional growth?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I hear that in Canada is the best destination for Indian students. How true is this?
Well, Canada is the best destination for all international students.
Okay, it's not just Indians.
It's not just Indians. Yeah, so all international students across the world can actually apply to study in Canada.
Okay. So what is the quality education that Canada offers?
Well, so the quality of education Canada offer, like I said earlier, it's second to none. It's because it's well regulated. Like in every let me say 5 to 10 years, the Ministry of Post-Secondary Education and Future Skills visits the schools and check the quality of education that they are offering, if it's same with what they're offering 5 or 10 years ago, or if they've improved. There are guidelines given to them, so they are closely monitored. Yeah, so you can't even doubt the quality of education that Canada is going to give. And there are a lot of co-op opportunity also for students studying in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not coming to class with lecturers and blabbing, there is, something, presentations, group work, class projects given to students to also help them interact.
So, is there a particular language spoken in Canada for someone who, for example, I can be intelligent or could be intelligent, but I would have a problem with maybe English? So is there a particular language?
Well, where UCW is located, University of Canada West located, is in Vancouver, BC, and so the language that's spoken in that part of Canada is English. And then you have the other part of Canada where you have the Quebec that speaks French. So for those coming to study at UCW and then they're coming from the Africa region, Anglophone, they won't have issue with English. But a lot of students, even from the Francophone Africa countries, some of them have studied in English or have done some, courses to improve their English proficiency.
Okay.
So yeah, so since English is like a major language across the globe, it's not going to be a problem for any students going or coming to study at UCW.
Okay, ma'am. I hear your school is vast in culture and all of the rest. Like there's cultural activities. Why should Nigerians actually come to Ghana and Canada for school?
Yeah, so for Nigerians coming to study in Canada or University Canada West,
Yeah.
we have programs that we have currently are business related.
Okay.
So most they would not. One of our programs that is very popular is the Masters of Business Administration.
Okay.
MBA. It's a very popular program and across the region. And students who are qualified actually to get an offer, we have automatic scholarship for them.
Okay.
For this FY 2025, we have 20% off, which is like 8,400 approximately of the tuition for students. And then we have also the MBA Foundation. So the MBA Foundation is for students who don't qualify for the direct MBA.
Okay.
Yeah. So for those students, they will do the MBA Foundation, which is like 3 months. And currently that program is online. And so once they're done with that program, they transit to the direct MBA on campus in Canada.
Okay, so what's that particular thing that distinguishes your school from other universities in Canada?
Yeah. So number one thing that distinguishes UCW is from other schools is this. UCW focus on raising students who will become boss in the work environment. UCW prepare their students to be relevant in the work spaces. So our graduates, a lot of them, 94% of our graduates, according to the survey that took place 2023, are working already, or they have jobs lined up for them 6 months after graduation. And thanks to the faculty and all those working at the Career Development Center that help the students. So we don't just give quality education to the student at UCW and then do convocation and send them forth to the world.
Okay.
We prepare them for real life work. And now many of our faculty have real life experience.
Okay.
They are professionals that actually have real work experience. They're not just reading from old textbooks and just trying to convert the curriculum. Okay. But yes, they have experience in managerial roles in real workspaces. And because of that, they put life into what they're telling our students.
Okay.
Yeah. So when students graduate from UCW, they're not just holding an MBA like every other student that went to study abroad. They are actually positioned to be the boss in workplace.
Okay. Um, for someone who couldn't make a first class, what does your school have to offer for the third class, second, third, and polytechnic students?
Okay, so let me start with the first class students. For us at UCW, for you to qualify for the MBA, direct MBA, you need to be an A or a B student. So you have first class or second class or per division.
Yeah.
And that's where you qualify for the MBA. Then for students who have a 2-2, that's the C students, they will be the one to do the MBA foundation. They'll be accepted into the MBA foundation program. Then for third class and HND students, they will need to have a postgraduate diploma, like the popular PGD, for them to qualify for the MBA foundation. So that's what we have for them. So if you have a third class or you have HND, you will need to, top it up with a PGD. That's a postgraduate diploma for us to accept you into the MBA foundation.
So I hear your school don't accept underage students. What's the age requirements exactly?
Okay, so with that question, I know you're referring to the undergraduate programs. So for undergraduate students, we expect that the students should be 17 plus for them to be able to come study with us. Yeah, so 17 plus is fine because they're coming from a university. We expect that they have a measure of control over their activities and, maturity also to cope.
But maturity doesn't necessarily come with age, because I've seen people who are like 15 that behave like 30s. And I've seen situations where students have, because of their level of performance in class, have been able to jump some classes.
Yeah.
And for example, you said 17. So if I jumped from classes and I'm just 15 after I'm done with school, I'm qualified based on my credentials and all. So the age you won't take me in because of the age?
Yeah, not because of the age, but is a standard practice with the ministry that is supervising the universities. We want students to attain a certain age before they are admitted into the university environment, because we will not be able to provide. Universities are not going to provide the kind of help or pastoral care that a high school will. Yeah, so the way the high school education system is set up is to help students, pass through all of that. And when they're graduating and heading to the university, they'll be 17 or 17 plus.
I've seen children or cases where, for maybe the loss of a parent, that's an older person or maybe the eldest steps into the shoes of the mother or the parent.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are not even up to that 15. I've seen children who are like under 15 or under 17 that function like people who are in very, let's say in their 30s or 40s. Yeah. So in that situation, how am I supposed to do? And let's say, like I said, I passed everything you need me to pass and I need to go to school. Yeah. And I don't need you to cater for me. I can actually fend for myself. I just want to have a sound education and I chose your school. What would you do for me?
Yeah, so what I would advise such students to do, if they're looking, because for undergraduate programs, we have the business communication, that's the BA Business Communication. We also have the Bachelor of Commerce and Associate of Arts. So our advice are just students do like a part-time course online on business. And so they prep themselves to resume with us when they are 17 plus.
Okay. With the English test, it's quite high. So if I can't make it, because I've seen people run away from the test.
Yes.
Is that a criteria? Like, is that a criteria that I have to meet up? Like, is it a must?
Okay. So for our students who studied in English high school or universities, they study in English. We waive the English proficiency test for them. So we accept the WAEC, the WASI. And so once they start studying in English, then we just waive the POE, that's a proficiency in English certificate for the students. So coming to study at UCW, you do not need to submit IELTS or TOEFL or IGCS as far as you achieve a minimum of C in English in your high school. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So
very
that's some
much.
good news for students, right?
Okay. Okay. Um, in the terms of a medical aspects of the sector, for a child who has a special case or who already has an underlying ailment, what's your school doing to help them in that situation since their parents are not around or a relation or a friend?
Okay, so at University Canada West, we have two type of advisors on campus. We have the normal advisors for domestic students, and we also have international advisors. So these people help students. We always want students to book appointments with them. And at enrollment, so when students come on campus, they're supposed to enroll. So those 2-3 weeks of enrollment, they are also supposed to state their medical condition. And from when they are applying to study at UCW, from the point of application, parents or guardians should not hide the medical condition of their
In a
wards.
situation where the child doesn't know or even the parent doesn't know, because I've seen cases where you're in school, your child does develop. In fact, me, for example, I was traveling one time and I've never had the problem with my breath.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I was finding it difficult to breathe.
Oh.
I had doctors asking me if I had asthma or
Asthma.
I didn't have any of those conditions.
Oh, okay.
So in a situation where I don't even know, my parent doesn't even know. But of course, we've done tests as is a requirement. And in the course of living in Canada, I developed a situation or a health challenge.
Okay.
What are the measures that are put in place to help such a person?
Okay. So at enrollment, a lot is actually being done. Enrollment is not just filling forms and said I've arrived school or just your address. Also, there are some tests that students are supposed to carry out as they just arrived to school. That is for the accredited medical center to have information about their health on ground, so that if any students have any emergency like you just described, they can quickly go to the medical center, and then with those information that the doctors or the hospital already have, they will know what to do. Exactly. So the orientation and also the enrollment helps students to know the addresses of their hospitals where they have already done the pre-medical test.
Okay, so if I have an emergency, I can just walk into any of the clinics.
Exactly. To gain have you taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your final words for someone who wants to study in Canada?
Yeah, so my final words for students who wants to study in Canada is to do their research very well. There is this assumption that everywhere is good. Like once I get to Canada, I'm good.
That's what we see online. We have that perception that okay, yeah, everything is okay.
No. So yes, everything is okay, but the kind of life you want to live, the picture of the life you want to live that you have in your head, is hard work that will bring it to life, to reality.
Yeah.
So in as much as you're seeing those high-rise building, beautiful people, doing some 6-figure jobs, you need to work hard to get to that. And then apart from working hard to get to that, you need to choose a school like University Canada West that have a history of welcoming international students, that have students from 110 plus country. And so you're not feeling alone in school. You have your classmates, schoolmates from your region and from other regions too. So, and with that, it helps people to really acclimatize quickly. And also when you're choosing a school to study in Canada, choose a school that is located in a city that have jobs. So, yes.
I thought there are jobs everywhere in Canada.
There are jobs in Canada, but they are not everywhere. But there are jobs in Canada. So, like, the city that UCW is located is Vancouver. I know that a lot of tech companies have their headquarters in Vancouver. So, it gives our students advantage over students studying in another location. So, when people look at for very cheap location, they should also look at the fact that living costs might be very low in those cities. Opportunity to earn 6-figure jobs too will not be there.
Wow.
Yeah. So students should not just all those what they see on social media and make decisions on what they see on social medias, or what their friend in Canada is telling them, or what your friend in Nigeria is telling them.
Because so many times, even our friends over there that make it look like, okay, we are living big in Canada, there are job opportunities.
Yeah,
and of course, they keep telling them, come over, come over, come over.
Yeah, people are actually living big in Canada. Yeah, but again, we want students to do their research themselves, apart from what they're hearing. Read up the schools. What support does the schools have for me? Does the school have student services? What's their career development center like? So after graduation, what's next? Those are the things they should look at. And then, so they're coming to University Canada West, we encourage them to start preparing for after school for the very day they arrive UCW. Okay. They shouldn't wait till after graduation before you go to Career Development Center and start asking questions. So how do I put up a good CV? So should I put up a cover letter? Where should I look for jobs? Okay. No. They should start from the day one that you arrive campus to start looking for those information. And then at UCW, we train our students to think like global citizens, because they're actually global citizens. Once you get an international education, you're a global citizen, because many of our graduates are not even working in Canada. They're working in countries, other countries of the world.
Talking about the global stuff, I heard somewhere else, I actually went through some series of documents, and I saw that your degree and certificate has a higher chance of getting jobs anywhere in the world. How true is that?
Yes, because it's an international degree, right? So let me use the words like a passport for a better future. So yeah, you're right. So what you saw online is the truth.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. We're glad to have you in the house. Okay, so this is where we wrap up on this episode. I still remain your host, Ruth Gohemba Solomon. Comment, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.